Hey, everybody. Welcome to the EP Fan Zone podcast, the podcast that is by, for, and about Elvis fans. We welcome you to our brand new episode, and this is going to be a lot of fun. We got a really great guest for you all this week that we're really super excited about. So my name is Kevin Booth, and I'm here along with my daughter,
Abby.
Abby, my co-host, is here once again this week, and we are going to have a great time. And as we've been doing normally, we're going to start off with a little Elvis news. Whenever anything exciting happens in the Elvis world during the week of a broadcast, we'll talk about it. And just a few days ago, we had the release of kind of a brand new Elvis song off of the Epic soundtrack. And it's "Oh Happy Day," which was basically just a rehearsal. It wasn't something Elvis recorded in the studio. And all we had heard of it before this recording was a pretty bad recording of it that came out years back. And boy, they really cleaned it up, and it sounds. I'm pretty impressed by it, Abby. What did you think?
I really like it. It's definitely 100 times better than the "That's the Way It Is" version, and I like the little audio pieces we get of him talking. But I would like a regular version without the other audio and just him singing it.
Just a straight vocal version without any of the.
But no complaints. It was great.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to the whole soundtrack, and it's going to be really, really cool. And we are down to less than.
I think we're down to 12 days.
It's less than 2 weeks before Epic debuts, so we're super excited about that. And we're also going to talk to our guest today about these things too before we get started in his interview. And I want to bring him on now. We're going to be interviewing Abby's friend. He is from Pineville, Louisiana. And his name is Jeremiah Wilson. He is 16 years old, and he's an Elvis tribute artist. And we're going to turn it over to Abby, and they're going to talk like they do, a lot. So this is going to be pretty natural. So, Jeremiah, welcome to the show. And what do you think about the release this week of Oh Happy Day? Did you like it?
I absolutely loved it. What threw me off was, like Abby said, the talking, but the reprise I thought it was really cool what they did. So I'm very happy for it, and I'm very excited to hear Tiger Man. I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited to hear that, and I'm really excited to hear Polk Salad.
Now, were you familiar with the sound of Oh Happy Day before this, that pretty bad version that we had for a long time?
I listened to it quite a bit, and ever since they released it on the Epic album, now I'm just listening to it, and I drive my mom nuts with it, but it's gospel, and she loves gospel music, so it's a win-win.
Me too. I absolutely love it. I wish Elvis would have cut that one in the recording studio when he did the "He Touched Me" album a year or so later.
Absolutely,
would have been amazing.
Or that he would have performed it on stage, because it seems like they knew it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, obviously that was the plan, and I guess it just never came to fruition.
Yeah.
The way those things happen. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to Abby. She's gonna be doing most of the talking from here on out. Her and Jeremiah are gonna have a cool conversation. I'll butt in every now and then. So go ahead, Abby. We pretty much answered the first question already.
Yeah. All right. Jeremiah, when did you first discover Elvis, and do you remember the exact moment?
Well, Lord, I think I was around 8 or 9. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to ask my dad or my mom, but I was in this Michael Jackson phase for a few, like 2 years. I'm pretty sure. I would have the fedora and I'd moonwalk and all this and that, and made a fool of myself. But then my dad got me. He picked me up, and as we were driving around, he's like, "Let me put you on this other guy I think you might really like, and who I think's better." And he played Hound Dog, and I replayed that song at least 5 times until he finally just cut the radio off. And that's kind of where I first discovered Elvis. And then about a week or two, he recorded the "This Is Elvis" documentary, which one of my favorite documentaries. It really shows like all throughout like his personal life, which is what I like about it. And
it shows a lot of Elvis the person.
I'm old. I saw that in the movie theaters when it came out.
Oh my gosh, it was a really good documentary, and he played that for me, and he recorded. He still has this video. I hooked up a microphone to an amp, and I powered it on, and while it was on the TV, I was singing and like trying to imitate his moves to Jailhouse Rock, and it was really stupid looking back at it now, but that's what really started the whole Elvis. That's what started my love for Elvis.
That reminds me, there's a video of when I was like 4 of me singing "That's All Right, Mama."
Yes, there is. And back then, she always called. She calls my mom, her grandma. She calls her mom. And when Abby was little, she would sing "That's All Right, Mom."
There's a video on Facebook of me like dancing and twirling around and singing "That's All Right, Mom." Anyway,
That's right, Mama. That's all right with you.
exactly.
It works. Yeah.
Okay, what made you want to perform Elvis instead of just listening to the music?
Well, when my grandma, back when she started her Alzheimer's started to get bad, me and my mom, we had to move in back into her childhood home to take care of her. And when she would have bad episodes, the only thing that would calm her down is Elvis music. So I would put on some of the Elvis movies, and I'd crawl into bed, and I'd lay up right next to her, and I'd start singing the songs, and just the smile that that she wore every time I sung Elvis. To me, that's where I'm like, I this is what I want to do. And it really took off with the Louisiana Elvis Festival back in 2023 and 2024. It only grew from there.
Yeah, because you also got to perform with David Lee on stage. What was that like?
I mean, I looked like a maniac while doing it. It was very thrilling, and I'm very honored that they first of all even allowed me to even get up on stage. And I remember after I did the song, Tupelo Tom Brown I saw him go backstage, and I saw him come back out with a pale blue scarf, and he put it around my neck and he gave me a pat on the back. And then I think I got David Lee to sign it, and I still have that scarf to this day. I still have that scarf. I still
That's
hold.
super cool. What was the first Elvis song that you ever tried to sing or perform?
I'm pretty sure it was Blue Suede Shoes. It was one of the early '50s songs. I can't exactly remember, but I do know it was one of his golden records and one of his very popular songs. But to me, Blue Suede Shoes just stands out the most because I would always do that song. Anytime my dad would call me up to sing with the band, because my dad's in a band. He's been a professional musician for over 40 years, and he would call me up and like sing some Elvis, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'd wiggle my right leg and like an absolute idiot, really, but I loved doing it, and I think that to me kind of started my journey. It only grew from there.
So you compete in the youth division of the Tupelo Elvis competition. What's that experience like?
Well, I'll say this for anybody that is wanting to compete but is nervous because like, oh, what if the people are like really like standoffish and like really egotistical? Don't worry about that. I was shocked. It the ETA world, it's like a second family.
Mm-hmm.
It was very welcoming. I did not expect to be welcomed with open arms the way I was with the Tupelo Elvis Festival back in 2024. And I would, if I could, once I get old and I move out of my parents' house, I'm gonna just call up one of my Elvis buddies. Hey man, you want to be my roommate? Sure. But I was very shocked it's very warm and welcoming, and it's really fun to perform with, especially at the Tupelo Elvis Festival. I love doing it. I want to be a part of it every year until I retire.
What's the hardest part of performing Elvis songs?
I would say probably trying to maintain and honor the impact and the legacy that Elvis had, I would have to say. And obviously, making sure you don't mess up the vocals or forget the words and
Yeah.
wardrobe, all this. But definitely just being able to have all the older Elvis fans relive those good moments, but also bring in people of our generation and younger generations into the world of Elvis,
Mhm.
which I personally believe he was the root of music.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't
Absolutely.
worry about that forgetting the words part and all that kind of stuff. It happens to all of us. It even happened to Elvis many, many times. So don't be too hard on yourself when that happens. But it is a heavy responsibility. I started out doing Elvis at 12, and I'm 55 now. I'm ready for the Elvis Tribute Artist Retirement Home, and it is a heavy responsibility. Um, Making sure that we honor the legacy that he left behind. So that's a great thing that's part of your desire, and I'm
And
glad to hear that.
it's very emotional because people have paid me compliments. And the best compliment I think I've ever received when I was doing a show was, I think it was this older gentleman. He came up to me after I was done performing. He said, I've seen a lot of Elvis impersonators, because he didn't know the difference between it. So I'm not gonna
Sure,
I'm
absolutely.
not, I'm not gonna correct him and be like, you're wrong. I'm not gonna be mean about it. And he told me, I've watched hundreds of Elvis impersonators, and you are by far the closest one to Elvis. And I teared up when I got to the car. I I really took that to heart. The
That's
fact
amazing.
I thought that I was so close to Elvis, even though I'm a midget, but I'm real short. But
That makes two of us. We got a lot in common there, Jeremiah.
sir.
We got a lot in common there. I'm only 5'4", so I was always a little Elvis.
What's the most exciting part of being on stage?
that I don't know. That's a very, oh Lord. There's a lot. The most exciting to me, it's getting the audience involved. Like when I do a song like Sweet Caroline, or songs where they sing along like Runaway, and just having the audience like be involved in honoring the legacy. To me, that's probably the most exciting
Do
part
you
about
get do you get nervous before you go on stage?
every time. Every time I get nervous the day before, sometimes if it's like one of my restaurant shows, it's very it's nerve-wracking, and my mom tells me you're overthinking it, and she's right, but that's what I'm best at mainly.
Well,
And
never lose that, because I think any entertainer that says they don't get nervous before they go on stage is probably lying.
Yeah, I don't think it ever goes away
And
fully.
even Elvis said he never got over stage fright. It keeps you humble, and you always realize that you got a new audience. And I'll tell you, the most nervous I ever was in my life as an Elvis tribute artist. I was about your age, Jeremiah. I was about 16, going on 17 probably. And we were doing a big show down in Glen Burnie, Maryland, and it was an Elvis birthday show, and Joe Esposito was there as the guest speaker.
wow.
And Joe Esposito, I came out on stage, and he was sitting in the front row of my show, and I was scared
I
to
would have
death.
fainted.
Oh, I'd be terrified.
I was a nervous wreck, but after the show, he was very nice. He came up, and you were talking about your greatest compliment. He came up to me and said Elvis would have been very proud of what you just did just now. It was a great tribute to him, and
Oh,
that was the compliment that's meant the most to me in my life.
absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
do your friends think about you being an Elvis tribute artist?
um well, other than like teasing me every now and then, where'd you go now, Elvis? You know, all this and that. They were very supportive. I was taken aback by how supportive they were, because that's the main thing that made me nervous about being an Elvis tribute artist was, oh Lord, now I'm gonna get picked on and bullied at school. But everybody's been really supportive, and I was taken aback by it. They're all very supportive. Some of my teachers and friends come to my shows, and it's amazing.
Do you think Elvis is cool for our generation, and why?
How do I put this? Yes, absolutely. I think, as a matter of fact, he's not just cool for this generation. He should be a role model for this generation,
Mm-hmm.
because his values and his firm beliefs on religion and what you should hold dear to you, your respect towards your mentors and your friends, families, everybody. That's, to me, is more important to learn about Elvis than what he did on stage, is how he was with everybody, how respectful he was, everything. So I think people should look up to Elvis more often. I think he really should. They should really look up to Elvis more often.
Oh yeah, 100%. What does Elvis mean to you personally, and not just as a performer?
Elvis, the man, always reminds me, no matter what, remember where you started. Remember where you came from, because I mean, Elvis, he when he was born, his first few years of life, his father, I'm pretty sure, was in jail because he wrote a bad,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and they had to move, and he was poor. I'll say it, he was poor. And then, even after all the successful records, all the money, all the traveling around the United States, he was always still very humble and very respectful. And that, to me, is what Elvis means. No matter what, always show respect to everybody, and always remember where you started. And
I love that.
cherish all the little things. Cherish all the little
Mm,
moments. Definitely.
yeah. He was always just that little boy from Tupelo.
He sure was. He never really let go of that. He was always Elvis never really grew up. Really, he always had that boy's playful heart. Even though he made a lot of tough decisions in his lifetime and faced a lot of things, he was still always that playful
Absolutely.
boy from Tupelo.
How do you make sure you honor Elvis instead of just copying him?
A lot of, how do I honor him? Probably, instead of not just copying him, I study the man behind the performer. Like I've said, pretty much this entire uh, conversation, just study his mannerisms. Look at how he treated everybody, because Elvis, no matter who you were, he wanted to do a lot for you. He wanted to make your day a whole lot better, because Elvis gave a lot of gifts in his life.
Mm-hmm.
He bought people a lot of cars.
Mhm.
And like this one story where this mother and son were looking at cars, and Elvis happened to walk in, and he asked them if they liked this Cadillac, and they said, "Oh yeah, it's very pretty," or something along the lines of that. I don't know. I wasn't there, because I was born,
You
but
sure?
not bad for in my late 90s, but but and they were like, "That's a very nice car, but we don't got the money for it." And Elvis just bought it for him. Just
Mm-hmm.
flat out bought it for him. Didn't even know him. So to me, studying how respectful he was to everybody, that to me is how you honor Elvis's legacy. Not just
Absolutely.
what he did on stage, but what he did backstage, what he did behind the lights, what he did off stage, and that to me is how you show respect instead of just copying him.
Is there something about Elvis people our age might not understand at first?
Well, a lot of people come up to me and they try to tell me, Elvis was a drug head and an alcoholic and all this that. There's even been some talk about how Elvis was a racist, which, first of all, Elvis was never racist at
No.
all. Um,
Very opposite
he
of
was
one.
he was friends with Little Richard, Chuck Berry,
B.B. King,
Tony,
Mahalia Jackson.
James Brown,
James Brown.
Sammy Davis Jr.,
List
Absolute
goes on.
Muhammad Ali.
sweet inspirations. Very talented singers. Very talented. And I know Whitney Houston's mom was actually
Yes,
in.
Sissy.
Yeah. Sissy Houston's part of the Sweet Inspirations.
And then the talk about him being a drug addict and an alcoholic. Elvis Elvis very rarely drank alcohol. He had to be really down, like really depressed, for him to even think about touching alcohol. And
I've
with
only ever heard like one story of him drinking.
exactly, I've never even heard a story of him drinking.
He didn't really like alcohol that much, the taste of it or anything like that. And
His
and
mom,
I'm glad that some things are coming to light now.
absolutely.
I'm not too crazy about the author, but a really good book came out a few years ago called Elvis Destined to Die Young, and the research in that book was meticulous. And Elvis had a lot of health problems that he dealt with from the time he was a little boy
Oh yeah.
until the time he passed away. And he had many members of his family that died in their 40s and early 50s, and
Right.
so he had a lot of health problems. There was a forensic pathologist not long ago that studied Elvis's case, and he said that even if Elvis had taken the best care of himself, he had a genetic heart condition that probably still would have killed him in his early 50s.
Wow. That's unreal. But with the drug, yeah, like I was saying, about the drugs, they weren't like all the bad. They were prescribed medication, and they obviously back then, they didn't know much about
Right.
medication as they do today. So it wasn't hardcore drugs; it was prescribed medication. So that's what I think people always get confused about Elvis.
Absolutely.
What's your favorite Elvis song to perform?
You get into the good questions now. I don't know.
Does it change?
Yes, every show it changes. Every
What is your current favorite?
current favorite. I always split it into two categories. My favorite upbeat songs to perform, my favorite emotional songs to perform. My emotional songs have always stayed relatively the same, which is like How Great Thou Art, Bridge Over Troubled Water, and American Trilogy. And even Hurt, but I I get so nervous about that song. I very rarely sing it. Like I have to be feeling really good to sing that song. Um, and then with the upbeat songs, obviously Polk Salad Annie, Suspicious Minds, Blue Suede Shoes, all this and that. Proud Mary, Never Been to Spain, because I'm a huge on tour guy. I love Elvis 1972 on tour. One of my favorite years by far.
Mm-hmm. Do you
But
have a favorite Elvis era, like 50s, movies, Vegas, late 70s, whatever?
That was a good segue right there.
Mm-hmm.
but well, I feel like all eras have their important meanings. Like the '68 comeback that marked his big return. His Las Vegas engagement in 1969. Elvis on tour. I have to say Vegas years definitely by far. It's just the music and the fashion I relate to a lot more. Definitely relate to it a lot more.
Yeah, 72 is my absolute favorite year because him not only Elvis but the band there was just something about that year, the venues they were playing, Madison Square Garden and all the really good big rooms and stuff, and him and the band were just cooking in
Oh,
72, and they really were.
my
Oh,
man.
yeah.
My man.
I definitely think that 1969 will always be my favorite year because, I mean, hello, he looked amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was one of his prime years, and the music that he put out that year was amazing.
Oh yeah, especially his fashion with the Cossacks.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Some of my
like,
favorite suits.
absolutely.
If you could see Elvis perform live one time, what year would you choose, or is there like a specific show?
Mm. I don't know. I couldn't give you exactly a straight answer. Can I
If
give you
you,
more? Can I give
yeah,
you more?
you can do multiple.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I can't do just one. Obviously, his Aloha performance, January 14th, 1973. Obviously, without a doubt. And December 31st, 1976. Such a good show.
That's
Such a
a
good.
great pick, Jeremiah.
Thank you. But I would say I have to do a tie, which an honorable mention would be, August 12th, the Midnight Show, 1970, where
Oh,
George.
yeah.
Obviously, I can't leave that out. But I would have to say it's a tie between April 9th, Hampton Roads, and April 10th, Richmond in
Mm,
1772. They're my favorites.
yeah.
Yeah, it breaks my heart that we're not going to get to see the video from Richmond because they say it's lost. That's in private hands somewhere.
I did see
It breaks my heart.
I did see a little bit of a clip where
Yeah,
Elvis ran the Burning Love, like laying on his back.
yeah. There's a couple of clips, but unfortunately, we're not going to see the whole thing unless that person steps forward one of these days and wants to bless the Elvis world by letting it go. And
I have a feeling they're not going
Or,
to do it unless they're paid a certain amount of money.
yeah, I'm
come on,
sure
Unfortunately,
or I'll go into debt, please. I need to see.
right?
we'll
Please,
we'll uh,
I'll
we'll, we'll do
thing.
some fundraising, Jeremiah.
We'll do, we're gonna
Yeah. GoFundMe.
we're gonna start a GoFundMe. A GoFundMe. Donate so we can see April 10th, 1972 Elvis on tour footage, please. We need to see.
Absolutely, I like it.
What are your goals as an Elvis tribute artist?
I have so many. Well, obviously, the big ultimate goal, obviously, win the ultimate award, without a doubt. Definitely, that's one of my ultimate goals. Get on the touring circuit, definitely, with like Cody Daneth, Dean Z, Bill Sherry, David Lee, all of them. And I would just say a goal of mine is just to know that I would hopefully have made Elvis proud
Mm,
with what I've done to honor his legacy. I would hope he's proud.
he would be. Um,
Thank you.
if Elvis fans from all generations were listening right now, what would you want them to know about young Elvis fans like us?
Well, I think a lot of older fans don't understand how much time we put into studying the mannerisms, especially for youth Elvis tribute artists, because I rehearse like 2 to 3 hours every day, if not every other day, because I'm wanting to know that I'm doing a good job with honoring his legacy. But I think it's the fact that we show huge amounts of respect
Mhm.
to not only Elvis, but to his parents that raised him the way he was raised, and his band members, all of, I think just how much respect we show, I think, isn't looked at enough. That's what I.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say to somebody who uh thinks that most or all Elvis tribute artists are just impersonators who are trying to be Elvis and want to do everything that Elvis did?
Well, I would sit down and have a talk with him, because let's take Dean Z for example. Ever since he started doing Elvis, I think it was in 2019, he gave his life to Jesus. And I think
Amen.
with the Elvis tribute artist thing, and me especially, it has really gotten me back into church. I've become a better person overall, because I was in a very dark place, and I was to the point where it was a very dark time,
Mm,
especially like during or like right after 2020, when my cousin unfortunately passed away. Um, it was a very dark time, but ever since I started doing Elvis, I've gotten a lot better mentally, and I've even started getting into the gym. So I'm working on myself, and I think they don't understand the impact not only the performer Elvis had, but even so the man that Elvis was with his, like I said, his religious values. That helps. That has helped a lot of Elvis tribute artists I know for a fact. They've become an overall better person. And me especially, I can proudly say this Elvis this Elvis just Elvis really helped me get through dark times.
Yeah. I think uh Elvis tribute artists really helped Elvis stay alive because I think if it wasn't for them, I don't think we would have gotten the Elvis movie because I think Elvis would
Exactly.
have faded out kind of, and he kind of was. And I think that tribute artists really helped keep him alive. And a lot, I mean, there are some who try and say they are Elvis and act like Elvis all the time,
Oh
but
yeah.
a lot of them, like Cody and Dean, and a lot of them that I've seen, Victor Trevino, most of his show was him saying, I'm not Elvis, and well, Elvis did this, and Elvis did that, and Elvis sang this
Oh
before
yeah.
like every single song. They, most of the ones that I've seen, they always take time to stop and say, I'm not Elvis, I'm just paying tribute to him. I'm not trying to be him. I'm not him.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
When like some ladies are at one of my shows and they're like, I love you, Elvis. I'm like, honey, you know I'm not the real thing, right?
Right.
I'm, I'm just I'm just a 16-year-old trying to pay respects and tribute.
Yeah. I think that's all the questions I have.
Well, that was a good interview. We enjoyed that, and
You
so
got
I guess we can move beyond a little bit. Are you excited about Epic?
absolutely. I'm really excited for it. I cannot wait. Like I said, for Tiger Man, Poke Salad, and I'm really excited with what they're gonna do for Walk a Mile in My Shoes because I was looking and I saw Walk a Mile. I'm like, they're actually remastering this. I want to see where this goes.
Are you going to see it in IMAX?
I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try.
I've never been to an IMAX theater, so I'm looking forward to.
Really?
I
I
don't
never
think
have. I never have been to an IMAX theater, so
I
this will
think
be.
I've been once, and it's when I saw Avengers Endgame. I
have
saw
I.
it, and it was really cool.
I oh, I have been to an IMAX theater. Okay, I'm asking myself this, and all of a sudden I just hear my mom. Yeah, have.
But
But
I'm wondering, since we've gotten Oh Happy Day and stuff like that, I wonder if all, and I hope not, but I'm wondering if all of the songs are gonna have like audio in them. And if they're gonna be
instead
like
like straight
remixes.
instead of just straight. I think a lot of the concert material obviously is going to be left alone, but
I just don't understand because
I do know he boosted.
I don't know if he's doing a different show because we got a Polk Salad Annie for the Elvis movie and
right,
stuff like that.
Yeah, I know that they went into the studio and they boosted a lot of the original tracks and added some instrumentation and some overdubbing and stuff like that to make a nice fuller digital sound. For the theater. So we're definitely going to get like really pumped up versions of these songs. I'm really excited to hear how these songs are going to sound. I think they're going to sound brand new and alive,
Yeah, I hope so.
and I'm really looking forward to that. So Jeremiah, one more. Do you have a favorite Elvis movie? I'm sure you love the documentaries, like That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour. But as far as like the theatrical regular, do you have a favorite Elvis movie?
I don't know. I bought this Ultimate Elvis movie collection, and I have every single movie ever released on CD, and I even have a copy of the Jailhouse Rock script book, and I
Very
have
cool.
a chance to watch every movie, and I'm so mad at myself because I'm trying to make time for it. But definitely Change of Habit, Charo, and King Creole, I'd say
Three
probably.
of his best.
Well, King Creole filmed probably not too far from you, right?
And it was filmed in New Orleans,
Yeah. Have you
which
ever
is
been to any of those film sites yet?
I don't think I
That's
have.
on my bucket list is to get down to New Orleans and go to a few of those sites where they filmed at.
I think wait,
Yeah.
I might have. I don't remember. I'd have to for King Creole. Okay, I have. And
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Very, very cool.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
thanks a lot, Jeremiah, for joining us today. This is pretty cool that we can reach from Martinsburg, West Virginia, down there to Louisiana, and
Down in
Where
Louisiana.
the alligators grow so
where
mean.
the alligators grow so mean. Have you ever had pork salad?
I don't think I've had poke salad in really
Me neither.
much bread. My parents say it's good, so I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I want to tell you from an Elvis tribute artist that came from the original generation that we're proud of you guys, of you young guys that are carrying it forward. You got a heavy responsibility carrying Elvis into a new generation and carrying his torch into a new generation, and we are very grateful. And I really believe that if Elvis was here today, and I really believe in my heart that you all, Abby, the guys and gals from your all's generation would be his favorite fans because,
Thank you.
since social media came out, more of the garbage just came out, the rumors and the stuff we talked about earlier. And you all pushed all that aside and said, you know what, we want to focus on Elvis, the gentleman, Elvis, the man, Elvis, the legend, and the artist and the performer. We don't want to hear about that garbage.
Right.
And
Right.
are doing an amazing job defending him and carrying on his legacy. So thank you. And he would be proud, and I'm proud of you. And
Thank you.
thanks a lot for joining us on this episode. It's going to be a great one. Thank you. And thank your mom for allowing you to come on and use her phone. And we appreciate that.
I
And
have no
hopefully we'll
storage.
get to do another one soon. Sometime soon we'll have you on again, and we're going to improve the show and do song of the day and all kinds of different kinds of stuff. So we'll have you on again sometime, and maybe we
Thank
can
you.
all meet. Hopefully in Memphis in 27, maybe we'll finally get to meet in person.
Oh, because that's the 50th
The
anniversary.
50th anniversary, yeah.
Everybody that's listening to this, you better go. I don't know who you are, but if I don't see you go, I'm going to be very sad and very heartbroken. So,
And look, go everybody listening, go see Epic.
Not just that, listen to the soundtrack because that will also help.
We need to fill those theaters up. Make somebody go, even if they don't like Elvis. Drag them anyway. We need to sell these theaters out and have a good showing so that we can get some more of this material in the future. So
purchase a ticket for your dog or something. I don't know. Do anything. Just sell
Right.
tickets.
right. Oh, and before we go, Jeremiah, how can people follow you? Where can they find you?
Well, I have a YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Abby knows my Facebook username better than me. I
It's
know.
literally just his name. If you look up Jeremiah Wilson on Facebook and Instagram, you'll find him. If you look up Jeremiah Wilson, Elvis Tribute Artist, he'll come up on YouTube. So
It's
you can basically find him
my,
anywhere.
my YouTube username is Jeremiah Wilson 779, and that's where you can find me. And I will warn y'all, they're very, very old videos on there, back to where I had blonde hair. Not proud of it, but it's okay.
That's quite all right. Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Jeremiah, for joining us. And we will look forward to talking to you again soon. Keep up the good work. This has been the EP Fan Zone podcast, a podcast by, for, and about Elvis fans. And that is a wrap for this week. We will see y'all next week. God bless. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.